The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night.
Caitlin Clark took her seat at the platform, still buzzing from a game that left the audience and commentators speechless. She answered Grace's typical questions about her strategy, teammates, and impressive performance. As the session ended, a reporter made an unexpected observation. It was not a question. It was a shocker. The room went silent. Clark froze. Her look conveyed it all. What exactly was stated, and why was she left speechless? Let us break it down. The tipping moment. Stephen A. Smith publicly confessed to Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever defeated their reigning champions, the Las Vegas Aces, 94-87 on their home court, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. This was more than just a triumph. It was a message. Caitlin Clark, a rookie phenom, once again led the statement. Her performance was electric. The numerals resemble those in video games. In 38 minutes, he scored 28 points on 11 of 18 field goals, including 6 long threes. He also had 12 assists, 5 rebounds, and only 2 mistakes. This win was more than just a statistical victory. With only a few weeks left in the season, Indiana's surge into playoff position drew attention from throughout the league. The building remained energized long after the last whistle. The post-game press room was crowded with reporters, cameras clicking in a constant beat, and the air was charged with anticipation of something unexpected. Clark took the podium with composure and attention, answering questions with her characteristic mix of modesty and intensity. During an interview with ESPN's Holly Rowe, Clark was asked about her on-court relationship with Aaliyah Boston, notably their effective pick-and-roll play that led to 18 points in the paint against the Athletics defense. Clark grinned and added, "Trust is really building. Aaliyah has been patient while I adjust to the pace of the professional game. Tonight, it felt like we were reading each other's thoughts." There was an unexpected change from the front row. ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith, known for his fiery beliefs and dramatic TV performances, eventually raised his hand. Until now, he'd been silent, observing rather than dominating, which was uncommon for someone in his position. Clark noticed him and nodded. "Steve A. Go ahead," she said. He arose slowly. There were no frenzied motions or booming voices, only a heavy meditative silence. His tone did not reflect his brand. It was softer, deeper, and nearly heavier. The room shifted. The cameras refocused. The typing halted. The Fever's public relations team froze in mid-step. "Caitlin," he started, "I have been doing this for more than 30 years. I have addressed all possible types of players. Rookies, legends, and disappointments. I have a career calling out athletes who fail to fulfill expectations. This is how I make a living. But watching you this season, watching how you've handled the pressure, hype, and learning curve, it made me reconsider some things." He paused and rubbed his face, displaying genuine emotion. "This was not a show. I have a public statement and apology to make." The entire room remained still. The inquiry was more of a confession than a challenge. How do you retain grace and focus in the face of harsh criticism and misinformation regarding your move to the WNBA? Silence. Caitlin Clark, known for her calm demeanor under pressure, appeared surprised. After enduring loud crowds, difficult Final Four matches, and constant comparisons to her collegiate stats, the player became silent. She opened her mouth and paused. Her hands, which had moved confidently when answering previous questions, now remained frozen on the podium. "Wow," she eventually muttered. I don't even know what to say." Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Smith, who were already on their way to the team bus, came to a halt and returned due to the gravity of the situation. This was a rare and unvarnished moment in professional athletics. A famous athlete was taken off guard by an unexpected display of humility and respect, rather than a challenging question. Her voice returned, unsteady but consistent. "Stephen A., this means more than you think. Yes, it's been challenging. Despite criticism, comparisons, and uncertainties, I worked harder to establish my worth not just to the league, but also to myself and my team." She paused again, this time reflecting rather than being shocked. Stephen A's subsequent statement heightened the vulnerability of the situation, leaving even veteran reporters breathless. So, what did he reveal? Continue watching to find out. Stephen A. Smith makes another shocking statement about Caitlin Clark. Stephen A. Smith sat quietly, his countenance unusually serious. He reached inside his coat and took out a few folded sheets of paper. They were not typed or polished. These were handwritten, raw, and authentic. The upcoming events were clearly planned. This was not just another sports commentary. Everyone in the room had a sense of greater meaning and reckoning. Smith began speaking quietly than usual. I feel compelled to express myself publicly after criticizing someone. I've made comments that weren't entirely fair or well-informed, and I need to address them. He took a quick glance at the papers before focusing on reading ahead. 3 months ago, I stated on First Take that Caitlin Clark was overhyped. I accused ESPN and the industry of exaggerating her popularity to increase ratings. I told her she still had a long way to go and hadn't proven herself. Although she excelled in college, she was not prepared for the professional world. His words rang throughout the press room. Several reporters had put their phones down. Clark's Indiana teammates, Aaliyah Boston and Erica Wheeler, stood quietly in the back. They were not there to make a statement. They were captivated by the unexpected feeling unfolding before them. Smith proceeded. I supported my case with statistics and logic, but my tone and delivery were contemptuous. I overlooked her accomplishments and the impact she had on the WNBA in a few weeks. Smith's voice became steadier, stronger, and more purposeful. This is what I've learned since. Caitlin Clark is averaging 19.5 points and 8.4 assists per game during her first season. Diana Taurasi averaged only 17 points in her debut year. Sue Bird's age is only 14.4. Clark's results are not only impressive, but also historically significant. He did not stop with the statistics. When Indiana plays, attendance increases by about 50%. TV ratings have tripled, while jersey sales have increased by more than 200%. In addition to her business skills, she is known for her positive demeanor, poise, and dedication to her teammates. The room appeared frozen on a daily basis. Even seasoned reporters listened rather than typing. Smith's voice conveyed emotion that could not be ignored. I was mistaken about you, Caitlin. It's wrong to doubt your readiness. It's wrong to doubt your impact. I held you to obsolete standards. I sincerely apologize to you, the league, and our audience. That was when the room altered. Flashbulbs went off like fireworks. Reporters leaned closer to capture every word. ESPN's Holly Rowe brushed away tears while scribbling on her notebook. Adrian Wojnarowski, who is often reserved, was filming on his phone. His instincts told him it was history. Sue Bird stood up and clapped quietly at first, then with determination. Others quickly joined, including media professionals, production crews, and Fever employees. It wasn't a press conference anymore. This was a moment. Aaliyah Boston came over to the platform and softly touched Clark's shoulder. Caitlin had not said anything yet. Her eyes filled with emotion. Her chest moved slowly as she processed the sight around her. All eyes turned to her. What will she say? Would she accept his apologies? Will she call him out? Will she cry? The room held its breath, waiting for Clark's reaction. Even experienced journalists were taken aback by her subsequent actions. Stay tuned as we unearth every detail. Caitlin Clark responds with amazing message. Caitlin Clark took a deep breath, her voice firmer, but still full of emotion. You don't owe me an apology, she continued, her gaze fixated on Stephen A. Smith. The media is meant to challenge us. The purpose is to push, criticize, and ensure we are worthy of our position. Working under pressure is a necessary aspect of the job. What matters most to me is that you now acknowledge that your opinion has changed due to new information, rather than having previously doubted me. Honesty requires guts. Her remarks did not simply bounce off the walls. They settled into the room. She took a careful peek at the other reporters who had questioned her early troubles in the WNBA. Her glance was clear, without hatred. She admitted that the criticism motivated her. I was motivated to prove to myself that I could compete with the best and make an effect at this level. Transitioning from college to the professional world was challenging, but I was confident I'd figure it out. The press conference took on a different tone after that. The post-game Q&A evolved from a routine to a substantive discussion on media duty, pressure, and the changing landscape of female basketball. The situation had become personal for everyone involved. Adrian Wojcicki, seated quietly near the back, raised his hand. Known for breaking news scoops, he talked with uncommon sensitivity. Caitlin following up on Stephen A's statement. How do you think media coverage of women's basketball has evolved since your arrival? What do you hope to see next?
Clark took her time.
She nodded seriously before responding. Significant positive changes have occurred. There's much more coverage now. More cameras, fans, and young females who believe this is their future. That is big. However, more attention might lead to increased pressure. While constructive criticism can be beneficial, it must be fair and informed. She turned back to face Smith briefly. That is what I respect about today. Stephen A's response demonstrates progress and attention to detail. Women's basketball differs from men's basketball in several ways. We're creating something new. It's faster, smarter, and different. The coverage should reflect this. We don't need generic remarks. This historic moment requires individuals who understand its significance. Rebecca Lobo, a former WNBA standout and ESPN analyst, leaned forward. Her voice lent depth and expertise to the mix. Caitlin, you have been dubbed the face of a WNBA rebirth.